Hello everyone, it's Madi Madison from Spectrum Art.
Welcome to our happy channel.
Yes, welcome to our happy channel. I like that, happy, indeed.
We're always happy.
Because we're always happy. Well, we try to be, right?
Yeah, sometimes we get mad.
Sure, we're human, but we try for the most part. So guess what? We went ahead and worked on some pockets this week, and I wanted to go ahead and hop on and share them with you guys because I wanted to make some more. And before I did, I figured I'd show you how far we've gotten. And these are the ones that we've gotten so far. Aren't those too cute, right?
I think so.
And they're fairly simple to go ahead and make. You can make them with some basic elements. First, I'm going to show you what they are, right? In case you want to make some more, you can actually create along with us as we go through this video. So what these are is, these are actually really nice, generous pockets. Of course, you could make them smaller by, cutting them down 3/4, half the way, whatever you like. The size is going to be totally up to you and dependent upon your page. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. But these, just to kind of show you, they were like 5.5, okay, pockets by a little bit over 4. And as you can see, it's a pretty generous pocket. So this is a business card, and you can see how much room I've got in there. It's pretty deep and of course pretty wide. And once again, that's completely up to you as far as how wide and how tall you want to make them. But we went with this size because that's kind of what our pages lend themselves for, or to. So let me show you how simple these are. They're really cute. Obviously, you can see that they have an image that's kind of transparent because it's a tissue. We've added we did some sewing with the machine, with the sewing machine on there. That's totally optional. You can actually faux stitch, right? You can actually grab a pen and just kind of, or a marker, and do any kind of, faux stitching that you would like to go ahead and utilize, whether it's zigzags or straight stitches, whatever. You can even use some stamps if you wanted to, right? If you have any of those border stamps, you can use those as well. So this is the back, and believe it or not, we actually did all 4 of these using one napkin, just this napkin right here. And one napkin was enough to actually yield all 4 of these, not only front, but as I mentioned, back as well. So you see the back? And there we go, look at that, right? Aren't those cute? So they're decorated on both sides. Do you need to decorate both sides? Of course not. If you know you're going to be adhering these onto a journal, for example, or onto a card or anything of that sort, then you obviously don't need to worry about the back. But we did, because we weren't sure what we were going to do with them. So we did. Let me show you all that you're going to need. You're going to need, of course, a napkin, right? You're going to need a pair of scissors. You're going to need, we use lace, that's optional. You see the lace right up here, right? Do you need to have lace? No, you could use washi tape. You could use, if you have a die, ribbon, if you have a die that can punch out paper, even a paper punch, some of those border ones, anything like that would work, or nothing at all, up to you, right? You can totally change the look. But the idea that we did was utilizing a piece of lace. You're going to need a base to make the pockets, and what we did was we used some book pages. If you've missed the video, the previous video that we just made, we went through on how to deconstruct an entire book. Just grab a book and make pockets, corner tucks, envelopes, journal spots. Yeah, absolutely, all kinds of stuff. Out of just one book, and we did a whole bunch of them. But sometimes you also have pages that do not have images, and so what do you do with those, right? You don't want to toss them. So here's an idea as far as what you can do with them, right? We can upcycle them. To make these, I went ahead and used some Rit dye, so it's permanent ink. It's color fast, which I like, because then I know nothing's going to be moving when I'm using the glue, because you're going to need glue, of course, to adhere your napkin. Now, this is just plain Elmer's glue that's been a little bit watered down, so about 1/3 water. And again, that's just like a homemade version of Mod Podge, right? And then one other element that we used was washi, and that's totally optional as well. You'll see that on some places. You'll see a little piece of washi here and there just to give it a little something to break it up some. But again, that's optional. I know a lot of us, most of us have washi tape, and sometimes they just kind of sit there in a drawer. Guess what? Pull those washies out. Let's go ahead and use them. So get yourself a napkin, some glue, some scissors, some washi, some kind of a border if you'd like, and let's go ahead and make some of these. Oh, and some book pages, right? Get yourself some book pages, some blank book pages that you were thinking about tossing out, and go ahead and spray them. These turned out totally stunning. Aren't those beautiful? But go ahead and grab yourself some book pages. They don't even have to be stained if you do not want to stain them, if you do not want to spray them. They would look just as romantic and just as beautiful, just plain white pages as well. Now, we're going to go ahead and work on some other ones, right? Because we're done with these. And again, you guys decide how much more you want to do to this. You can add buttons, you can add bling, you can add flowers, you can add glitter, you can do all kinds of fun stuff to these, right? And if you're doing the faux stitching, you can even use your, glitter gel pens or something. I mean, just, do something fun, right? Okay, now we are done with this one. I just wanted to show you what it looked like before I did it, but we actually went ahead and got some other napkins, which I'm gonna go ahead and use. So we're gonna work with this one because I love it. It's black.
Yep.
How often do you see a black napkin, right? I just absolutely love it. Reminds me of that graphic 45 paper that I fell in love with. That's got those black, really black background and bright, bright colors.
So we sent her a front.
Yes. So I'm thinking this is gonna be magical. So we're gonna try that one. We're also gonna try this one because we just got it. So yeah, let's use it, right? It's got an awesome nest. I'm thinking we can pull those birds out. And I think that's a repeating pattern. Yeah, it's repeating. And look, it's even got a sun that we can pull. Oh, and a border, look. With this one, you don't even need lace. It already comes with a border. So lots of fun stuff on that one too. And then we're gonna go ahead and work on this one too, because we bought this one and I really like those purples. We don't usually have a lot of purple. So that's why I pulled these washies, because I figured, hey, let's pull those purple colors out of there, right? So that's what we're gonna go ahead and use, and we're gonna make ourselves some more pockets. We are probably going to go ahead and, maybe film it and then speed through it so you guys can actually craft along. But go ahead and get your supplies, and we'll see you guys in a jiffy. Okay, so the first thing that I went ahead and did was I actually grabbed my page. Now, mind you, if you mind the writing being upside down or not, that's fine, you decide. To me, it doesn't really matter. So what I've done is I've actually grabbed, again, there's really no measuring involved on this because you kind of want it to look crude. If you want to trim this off because you do not like it, you can. I actually like that torn edge. I might actually be inclined to even do this side. So maybe we'll do that first. I think that looks kind of neat. So let's tear that off. And again, I'm just using my nails and pulling. There are lots of tools like the Tim Holtz Distresser. There's scissors if you have that. There are rip rulers if you rather have, a more uniform look. But if you're like me and you just kind of want to do that, that's perfectly fine. Okay. The reason why I went ahead and folded this border right here and creased it is because I want to reinforce this edge right here, okay? I don't want this to be too thin. The same thing with this here, because again, if you wanted to adhere it and just adhere it in 3 sides, you could, because this is strong enough now for stuff to slip behind it, right? Now, I don't necessarily read all of these books. Some of these books we've even gotten for free at the library. So, and that's why they don't have like really great images. It's just writing, it's just text. And I am very careful about the fact that they might have questionable words in them. So I try my very, very best to cover as much of the text as I possibly can. Just because I don't want to worry about there being anything offensive on there, okay? And then, oh, this one worked out because the back is actually pretty clear. So in this one, I don't need to use a napkin if I don't want to. So we're gonna go through, oh, that one tore a bit, and that's fine because you're not gonna see that. Go through, decide, which side you want to fold up. Go ahead and fold the top down, and we'll do that a few times. Okay, so we went ahead and folded. Well, first I tore the edges off the both sides just to make it look a little bit more rugged. If you don't want to do that, just use your scissors and of course trim it down or use your cutter to make the edges even. The next thing we're going to do, and I folded over the tops and the bottoms. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and glue down those tops and bottoms. It does not take a whole lot because again, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and sew it. So I'm just basically adding a little bead on there like this to just kind of hold it down so it's not kind of flip-flopping all over the place. So that's all that it's gonna take for now on these. And if you notice, I've done 3 sets of 4 because we had 3 napkins, right? And as I mentioned, 1 napkin was enough to do 4 of these. So, and those are just your standard napkins. So that's what we're going to be doing next, is to go ahead and glue these down. You'll notice that I am not gluing the sides. And this is a really good tip. If you're going to be sewing these, as you see here on all of these, right? See how they're all stitched? If you're going to be doing that, then you want to go ahead and leave this open because that's that much easier to run through the sewing machine, right? When you're stitching, you're going to stitch right there. So you want this open so you can feed it through your sewing machine. If you're not going to be doing that, then by all means, you can go ahead and glue down both the left and the right side, right? Left, right, and then just kind of glue it down and make your pocket that way, okay? But if you are going to be using a sewing machine, do not glue those down. Okay, after we are done with this, you want to start actually thinking about how you're going to use your napkins, right? Again, you want to maximize because you can do 4 pockets, possibly even 5, depending on how much text you want to cover. I am very careful, like as I mentioned, to cover pretty much all the text, so only very few words can be seen or read. But if you're using like a children's book or something that you're comfortable with, then obviously your napkin might go a little bit longer or a little bit further as far as making more pockets. So that's at your discretion. Okay, and so just like that, we have those 4. So let me go ahead and continue and do the other 8. Now that we've actually glued the top and the bottom, then what I'm going to go ahead and do is work with our napkins, right? So I'm going to grab the mat just to kind of protect the table from all the glue. And we're going to bring over the napkin and tear it. Now I did already tear one, so I'll show you that one to kind of just give you an idea of what it is that I did. I went ahead and kind of, cut out some kind of shapes, right? Trying to keep the flowers as a whole. I went ahead and cut out all of these pieces right here. Was that it? I believe so. Two more. And I still have napkin left, by the way. I still have, oh, here's another piece. And I still have pretty much a whole quarter section left. So I'll probably need that as well. But I wanted to kind of just stop for a second and show you what I've done so far. So I've cut these pieces down. One easy trick, or one good trick. Of course, now I don't have a single piece of Scotch tape. Okay, well, let's try it with washi tape and see if it works. I'm not sure where my Scotch tape went. You used it?
Yeah.
Again? What about the one in the little tape dispenser? That one too?
Guess so.
Oh boy. Okay, let's try with washi. But if you use Scotch tape, I seriously doubt that this is going to work because this is not meant to stick. But we'll see. It doesn't take much. You could sit here and struggle. I mean, these are not too bad. Once you tear them, see, you can see the plies. And some have 2, some have 3. This one's easily enough to go ahead and pull, but sometimes they're a little bit stubborn because all you want is a top ply. You want to make it as thin as possible. If they're a little bit stubborn, which of course none of these are going to be, let's pretend that that was kind of stuck. You can always see, and it does work. Actually, you can use a piece of tape, and it kind of just helps to pull that layer up, and then you can just go ahead and take that layer. So the idea is, let's go ahead and work with these that we've done so far. Is that now we're going to start playing with these and deciding, where do we want them? You know, is it too much? I mean, if I wanted to trim this down some more, I could just tear it, because that's all I did. I tore them by hand. Is it enough? You can decide, you know, like this piece, I would think it would look great like on a bottom like this. And so the next thing to do is to go ahead and grab our glue and glue down our napkin. And again, this is just homemade Mod Podge that I make in bulk for Madison, because she loves to use these little containers because they come with a brush already, you know, on there, so no need to dirty anything. Another great tool to use is the silicone brush. Let me show you what that looks like. And then you can actually just put your, where's it at? You can actually put your glue in a little, you know, container or even disposable cup if you don't want to wash, and then you can dip your brush and just glide it across. But these silicone brushes are amazing for glue.
We sent one to our friend.
Oh, jeez. Okay, so let me go ahead and continue to glue, and you guys do the same while we're actually gluing ours down. And again, one of the reasons why I tear that too is because I don't want to put glue all over this thing if I don't need to, right? No need to A, waste glue, because nobody likes waste, and B, it's just more work, right? It just kind of soaks up your paper. And then very gently, we want to go ahead and pat that down. And then I want to try something a little bit different on these, so I'm just going to, you know, glue down these edges. But I think I'm going to come back and try something. We had gotten a while back some crackle Mod Podge. Yeah, exactly. And I want to try and see what it would look like kind of crackled. And you'll notice, by the way, that you can see clearly that these edges are not fully glued. Again, it was just to kind of hold them down, but you can see that it's not sealed. Once we do the stitching, that's what's going to go ahead and adhere those down. So that kind of gives you an idea as to what the first one is going to go ahead and look like. I'm going to continue to go ahead and do the other 4 in this flower pattern with this napkin, and then we will come back and talk about our next step. I almost forgot to give you guys a really good tip. You know, when we pulled the backs off of the napkins, those are a really good way. I mean, we've gotten pretty good at kind of adhering our napkins without tearing them, but I want to give you a really good tip that Madison still uses. And again, I'm kind of looking at, you know, the shape of my napkin so I know where I want to put glue and not go overboard. Okay. If you're struggling with your napkin, if you're getting bubbles, if you feel that it's not pressed down enough, I'm going to give you and show you a really good tip, which is free, by the way, because guess what? You already have what you're going to need to do it. Okay. Let's say that you place your napkin down and then you feel like, oh, it's not pressed down and you're too afraid to kind of do one of these. You just grab the discarded backs and actually use that to lightly touch on it. You don't want to, sure, one second. You don't, Madison's back there working actually with our, what's it called?
Glaze.
The crackle.
Glaze.
Yeah, glaze. What were you asking me, hon?
I use this on the
Sure, one second. So anywho, I just wanted to show you guys that quick tip on how to go ahead and push that down. And again, see, here's a little piece that's kind of lifting. We can come back in. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to put your fingers all over it, because that will tear, especially once the glue is wet. But if you use your remaining leftover tissue, you can always come back in and work out those bubbles, okay? And then discard it. And it kind of works out because each paper that you've pulled back, in this case we have 2 plies, right, can actually be used to do that. So let's go ahead and keep going and make some more. All of the napkin has been Mod Podge, and now what we have left to do is to go ahead and pick out our lace and adhere that down, and then after that, of course, use our washi. Again, if you want to go ahead and do that, and the same thing with lace, that's totally optional. So what Madison and I have picked is for the one with the birds, we're going to try and bring out and keep that blue because the nests and the birds are so pretty. So we have decided to use this blue lace right here, and we've already cut out smaller pieces that we're going to go ahead and adhere and then snip off the ends. And then we've picked out this blue washi tape to just add throughout. For the flower ones, these are so pretty, the floral ones, we've picked out a mauve lace. It's very, very similar to this color because, again, this one's got plenty of color, but we do want to add that really pretty lace up there. And then the 2 purples that we had talked about in the beginning, we want to bring out those purple hues. And then for the black napkin, since the black is very, very strong, we went ahead and it's a powerful color, as you can see, but they turned out amazing. We're going to go ahead and stick with that off-white lace. And then we picked out this washi because it's got the purples, which you see purples throughout. It's got the blues in there as well. So this one's kind of like a quilt. Almost looks like a crazy quilt. See, kind of a wash. It's got the pinks, it's got the purples, it's got the blues. So we've decided to go ahead and use that one for these napkins. Now to adhere your lace, if you are using lace, you're going to need fabric tack or some kind of Eileen's tacky glue, anything like that, to go ahead and adhere that. It won't work with just plain white glue, but again, that's optional if you're going to be utilizing that. And what we want to do is we want to go ahead and glue that up top. I wanted to show you something because sometimes we do things and they're little oopsies, but you know what? You kind of work with them. So let me show you that before I go on. So remember I told you that Madison was trying to use the crackle paste? Well, she did, and then we let it dry overnight, and we came back, and it was just a hot mess. And we were like, what is that? We realized instead of using the crackle glaze, the Mod Podge crackle, we went ahead and used crackle paste. What's the name of that? The golden crackle paste. And of course that is to be done over an acrylic paint, and you layer it on thick, and then it cracks, and then you go ahead and paint over it. Well, duh, it dries white. So we totally forgot about that, and we made that boo-boo. But this is the actual boo-boo one, and you see, you really can't tell. You know why? Because what we did was we refolded it the other way. See how it didn't work? This is what it would look like originally. See the 2 borders? But instead of tossing it, don't just throw away things, work with them, right? We went ahead and flipped it the other way, and we went ahead and used our napkin, and now it's perfectly fine. And it doesn't do anything on the inside. I mean, it's flat, it's smooth, you can't see it. Of course, we lost a piece of the napkin, but that's kind of cool. It's got double layers, and we can still work with it. So if anything, it actually lend, excuse me, stability to the to the page. It made it stronger. So it was a win-win. It was not a big deal. So wanted to show you that to remind you to think, and mistakes happen, and that's okay. Try to work with them. Don't throw them away. Cover them back up. That's the forgiving of working with paper, is that you can just go ahead and paint over it, put another napkin, keep going, don't waste, right? Okay, so then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using our glue, and we're going to go ahead and adhere our lace right up here. And what I did previously, where are the other ones? I went a little bit lower so that it hides that seam. Not that it's unsightly, but Yes, hon. Yes, yes it is. Yes it is. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna go ahead and put this down here. And again, it all depends on, the width of your lace or border or whatever you're using. And there you go. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that all the way around. And yes, I do leave little pieces, hanging off of the edges, because then I just come back in and I snip them. But it's easier for it to dry this way. I usually just wait to dry before I snip. But I'll do it now just to kind of show you guys. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. See, I kind of sometimes even like nick it so that it kind of frays a little bit. And then we've got our washi, and you decide, where you want to put the washi down. I always tell you guys that I use glue wherever I'm going to use my washi, simply because of the fact that we know that washi does wear out over time, and you don't want that coming back up. So I always... I'm recording, babe. So we are going to go ahead and reinforce or re-glue our washi using some glue. And this is a mix that I make of Aleene's and PVA mixture. It's 50-50. So it's not so thick, but it does have obviously a stronger bond than just using your regular just white glue. Down there, should we go this way? Let's go this way. Let's go this way. And again, you just play with it. That's all that we're going to be doing with all of these. We're going to go ahead and continue to add our lace, add our washi, and then we're going to go ahead and move on to the next step. All right, once we were done adding the washi,
the sewing,
then we went ahead and did our sewing. So we are all done. Look at that. We've made 4 different kinds of pockets. These are the originals, of course, as you guys remember. Then we went ahead and made this other one with the birdie. Yeah. Flip it over, honey. And there's the back.
It's Easter eggs.
Not Easter eggs. It's a nest with eggs and a purple feather. Really, really cute. Then we went ahead and made those really cool black ones. Yeah, I love that. I love that bird. But it says botanicals on here, and you see the washi, and there are the backs. And we just kind of changed the stitching all around. If you can tell, some are straight stitch, some are zigzag. So we kind of mixed and matched the stitching, so to give it more character. I like this one. What, honey?
I like this one.
Those, yeah, I like that one too, like the little vine. But like I said, we went ahead and mixed and matched them. But here are the flower ones. And there you go. So we hope that you will try these, because oh, I know one other step I forgot to tell you guys, which is optional. We haven't done it to these yet, but if you notice, they were actually distressed. So if you want to distress them, by all means, you don't need anything fancy, just your regular inks will do. On that last one, we actually used this. So Madison will go ahead and probably pick some colors from in here and finish distressing these, and then we will consider this done.
Yep.
So we hope that you will try it.
Like it.
Yeah, go ahead and give us a thumbs up.
Please share in your groups.
And feel free to share in your Facebook groups, right? Or on Instagram or any of the other platforms, or Twitter. And let your friends know that they can go ahead and use those book pages and some napkins to create some wonderful pockets as an addition to their journaling.
And please comment and we'll do a giveaway.
You want to do a giveaway?
Yes.
Okay, let's do a giveaway. So go ahead and leave a comment below. What are going to be the rules? They have to what? Just leave a comment?
Yeah.
Okay.
And tell me what favorite you like.
Okay, there you go. So leave us a comment. That's the rule. Tell us whether you like we'll call these the yellow birds, I guess, because they seem to all have a little yellow birdie. So yellow birds, we'll call these the bluebirds, okay? Or nests. How about we call them nests? Because I think we gave them all a nest. Let's see. That's got a nest. This one's got a nest. And this one's got a nest.
Okay.
So we'll call these the nests.
Okay.
These we will call the botanicals because,
paper.
well, yeah, it says botanicals right on it. And it's got butterflies and flowers. So we'll call these the botanicals. Okay? And then we will call this one the flowers. Okay? Or florals. So, okay? Because that's all they are. These are just flowers. Okay? With the purple or the mauve trim.
Yep.
All right, so leave us a comment. Let us know which one you like, and we will go ahead and pick a winner. Let's pick a winner August 15th, 2019. We'll just use a random picker from the comments, so make sure that you're actually staying tuned. And when we make the announcement, then you can just send us your information, and we'll get it mailed out to you. All right, thanks so much for watching, guys.
Good luck.
Yeah, God bless, and we'll see you all soon. Bye.
Bye.